Well, good morning, everybody. Jeff Slakey here on the Daybreak Show. I've got three great guests to talk about, well, some big news coming out of the North Mason Chamber of Commerce. We have outgoing Executive Director Stephanie Rowland, incoming Executive Director Pam Volz. Darren Eisele as well is here with us. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
You know, the last time we all were together, we were at the Alderbrook, and it was for the wonderful gala. We had such a good time. And one of the things about the gala that was new this year was the cornhole tournament.
The classic.
The Cornhole Classic. Now, I got to know, and I had a great time. Steph, me and your brother Randy, who's the PA announcer for the Seahawks, were there kind of doing the play-by-play action. First things first, where on earth did that come from?
Well, I suppose that would be me. There was some wine involved.
Sure.
At a small event outside, and we were talking about our gala, and we like to have fun when we're all together. And I was saying I heard from the Port Orchard Chamber that they had a big cornhole event, and as soon as I said that word cornhole, everyone started laughing. There's this, because people, either they're really into it or they have no idea what it is. And so then we had another glass of wine, and we decided, we'll do it even though our people are going to be all dressed up, and we're going to call it the Black Tie Cornhole.
It was a hoot, and I have got to give it to you, Darren. That was a tough event to coordinate. Talk about herding cats on this one.
Yes.
We were there in the midst of it, trying to determine team seedings. I mean, when you were looking at the brackets, you were going all in on this like it was the ESPN finals
It was.
of, it's like you're going to get a gold medal or something.
Yeah.
You did a heck of a job on the fly making sure everybody was ready to go. The teams were there, and that was a lot of fun.
It was a ton of fun, and Jeff, I have to thank you as well as we got some help from Tracy and Arla from Mason General.
Yeah.
They were fantastic. The three of you just jumped right in and started helping me organize things. It was a little chaotic getting everybody to show up for the bracket. Just because we kind of had it all lined up ahead of time.
Sure.
And then we did have to go find a few folks, but we eventually got everybody there, and we had a great time.
It was so much fun and so unique and completely different. I think especially because everybody was dressed up and they were
Silver
playing
shoes
this.
in a pile in the corner.
So, Stephanie, I guess this isn't even a question for you anymore. But Pam, as we look ahead to next year, is that still something that you want to keep into the fold there as you're starting to take over executive director duties?
It's a definite possibility.
It was.
Well, let me interrupt it for just one second,
Please.
because Jeff's not going to talk about himself, but you were you were our sportscaster too.
It was
You
fun.
did such a great job.
Jeff took it on, and talk about serious. You were all over it. There was he had a mission, he was getting the people up there and everything. And so we have a little small token of our appreciation
Oh my
for
gosh,
you.
what is this? Oh my
Something
goodness.
you can remember.
It'll be hard to forget.
I mean, how am I going to forget this?
I don't know how you want to get this.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Look
Yeah,
at this
that.
thing.
Yes.
Darren made that, and he's awesome.
And it lights up.
It lights up,
What?
of course it does.
So
this
the little black button there.
Yeah?
Look at that.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, thank you so much.
So I don't know if you can see the photo there at the top of
Yeah.
you, myself, and then Tracy.
Uh-huh.
That to me was the summary of our evening.
Yeah.
We were diligent at making sure we did a good job, but we had fun doing it.
That
We
was,
sure did.
oh, thank you so much. That was
Yeah.
very, very cool.
So if you help us next year, you'll get another one of those, right, Darren?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
hang them up
Absolutely.
along. That's
It's one of a
awesome.
Help
kind.
Pam out for next year.
It's a one of a kind.
That's super cool. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
That's awesome. All right. Okay. Before I lose it here, which I may, let's move on to the other big news at hand. We got the email from you, Stephanie, the other day that after 7 years as Executive Director, CEO of the North Mason Chamber of Commerce, it's time to retire and enjoy what's next.
Shockingly.
Yeah. Not that this isn't a fun job, and I can imagine for you, it's not considered work, There is a lot of fun that you have. It's the fun chamber and things like that, but all good things. And you found someone great with Pam
That's-
to take over.
That's it. I mean, that's a key, because in these organizations you can't start over every time somebody leaves, and you're small staff, and the staff you have does what they do. So we can't interrupt the flow. Pam is now our chairman of our board.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all good because she knows everything. She's worked at the chamber before.
Yes.
And so in talking with her, I realized, wow, I could do this.
Yeah.
It is a lot of fun, but it's 24/7 on your brain. And so my brain is just giving out after 7 years, to be perfectly honest. I put the wrong dates on things right now, which is wrong.
So, Pam, I do know you've, like mentioned, chairman of the board and have been heavily involved in the North Mason Chamber for a long time now.
Yes.
So, talk to me a little bit about the transition from what you're currently doing with the board and the chamber into the executive director role. What's going to be similar, and then what are you thinking about for moving forward and stuff like that?
Well, there'll be a definite, changing of the hats.
Yeah.
And we have a wonderful person coming in as the chair, which is Darren Corliss from Corliss Painting. He's been in that seat before, and so he's going to come in and take over an interim before we have our next elections next year. So we have a great board. We have some new members on board, and they have ideas. So I think it's going to be a really great opportunity for us to probably have a second retreat maybe, and just have that conversation about where are we going from here. And we do have one exciting thing that we just had accomplished through Stephanie, which was creating our foundation. So that needs to be looked at, and start our board for that and look at what that vision looks like. So lots of things to do, continuing on with what Stephanie has left with her legacy there, and moving forward with what we can do to support our community and our businesses.
Stephanie, talk to me a little bit about 7 years ago when you came on board, maybe some of the, if you remember back, the numbers of chamber members in the North Mason, how those numbers have grown. I mean, we've seen massive amounts of growth in the Belfair area with the signage and the roads and the sidewalks and all sorts of new businesses
We
coming
have
in.
sidewalks.
I mean, can you believe it? It's about time, but yes, no, up in
Yes.
Belfair, it's a beautiful way to go, and there's all sorts of good news coming down the pike of more growth in the Belfair area and that expanded part. But you've had to have seen tons of businesses come in.
Well,
over
we've
these
got,
7 years.
it's right now, I'd say it's the most exciting, where it's just every day. We don't have to call people now. They're starting to call us. They're coming in. It's a good time to pass it on to Pam, because she's going to be just deluged with those new faces, and that's what's going on with our chamber. That's why you saw a bunch of new people at the gala that we've never seen before. But we've grown about 100 members. We're right around 300 members with our chamber.
That's great.
And one of my time constraints just was I couldn't get out there enough. I was tied to my desk too much. So you really need to get out there and welcome those people and have them come on in. So any of you listening, come on in and meet Pam.
Yeah, come in, meet Pam.
Yes.
And there's always ways to get involved. Darren, you are involved in a bunch of different aspects of the chamber. What are some of the things you're working on now?
So I am on the board, and then also I'm on the education committee. I'm the chair. And so we're kind of working on what we want that to mean going forward. We've traditionally had our scholarship. We're kind of taking a look at that, maybe what we want to do to tweak that, and then also bringing in some more community involvement with the North Mason Chamber. We are talking with the North Mason School District about bringing in a financial reality fair and using a partnership of all the North Mason Chamber businesses to kind of do that. So there's a lot going on, and it's a great time to see change.
And whether or not you're in the south part of the county or the north part of the county, it's always a great time and great opportunities to meet new people, as the North Mason Chamber meets quite regularly with the various lunches and different things that you can become a part of. So you can always find them online. northmasonchamber.com is the website. Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff is available with calendars of things that are happening. Really exciting, and good for you, Stephanie. Good for you. Good for you, Pam. And Darren, it's always good to see you as well. We have a good time with you guys. The Fun Chamber,
Thank you.
indeed.
Thank you
Yes.
very much.
And
Appreciate
so what's next? You're just going to relax for a little bit,
let
turn
me-
off your cell phone, and
I can't help myself, but let me just say we now have a new membership category, which is Friends of the Chamber.
Uh-huh.
And we have 10, 15 people now, people who are retired or aren't associated with any kind of business or nonprofit. They
Oh.
just, because our neighborhoods are so spread out, you mentioned, getting together. Gee, they can come to chamber lunch. Have lunch with us and be part of the chamber, get on our email list. And so, but yeah, I'm going to my house on Mason Lake and I will be holed up there for, I don't know,
She's
a
gonna be
while.
The
And
lady
you'll
of the
see
lake.
you'll see me out and about.
you'll see the phone ring. It'll say Pam, and you go, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
I'll answer that next week, maybe.
I'll forward it to Darren.
Yeah, there we go. Darren,
Yeah.
Stephanie, Pam, it's always good to see you, and look forward to hearing all the great things that are coming out of the North Mason Chamber moving forward. And congratulations to you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Great.